Hello everybody, it's Megalithic here, otherwise known as Puglo Escobar, and today we're going to take a look at buying the Progen T20, a rather top-end sports car or supercar, whichever it may be. And as you can see, today we have Mr. Wolf along with us. Hello Mr. Wolf, how are you? Okay, there he is, yes, and he's off to hassle my secretary, I do believe. Okay then, the Progen T20 can be found under the Legendary Motorsport website, and it is a rather long way down. Okay, in fact I've had to speed up this clip somewhat slightly because it did take me rather a long time to find. Okay, that's a Progen, but it's not the Progen that I'm looking for. To be perfectly honest, I have no idea what the car looks like. There we go. Okay, that's it right there, isn't it? Okay then, jolly good. Right then, the Progen T20, as you can see, retailing at $2,200,000, and that really is a lot of money for a sports car, I'm sure you will agree. Okay, let's go ahead and select it in blue. Now, I must admit, unfortunately, it does look rather familiar, but we'll send it to the Hillcrest residence and see what happens. Hopefully I haven't brought this car already. Okay, now, and to get there, we are going to be taking the Pegassi Reaper, and why not? Okay, just heading out, and with a bit of luck, Mr. Wolf will be there waiting for me and ready to drive. Ah, yes, there he is. Mr. Wolf is a rather proficient driver at this game, so on these occasions I like to let him take charge of the wheel, so to speak. He can be my chauffeur, if you rather. Okay, then, here we go, and he's heading up the hills here. We're going on up to the Hillcrest residence, which is where we always have these vehicles delivered. Okie dokie, there we go, the Hillcrest residence. Let's hop on out now and go and see if this Progen T20 has been delivered to the garage. With a little bit of luck it will be. Okay, heading inside now, a long black screen of nothing. And there we are. Okay then, ladies and gentlemen, the Progen T20, there we go. Rather splendid looking vehicle, isn't it really? I've got to say, yes, does look rather nice indeed. Little bit like the Pegassi Osiris, I would dare to say, wouldn't you? I don't know, I think so, really, rather. Okay, well, let's hop on inside now and give it a quick once around without my ugly pug face in the way. Okay, look at that. That really is the sort of car that you would expect to buy for that kind of money. Yes, that does look absolutely fantastic. I do like the lines on that particular vehicle. Okay, well, we'll take it back outside, and now, of course, as I'm giving this a test run, I think Mr. Wolf will be kind enough to sit beside of me and cringe all the way down the hill as we take this vehicle back to the Maze Bank office. Okie dokie, here we go. Let's give it a test then. No, not the Pegassi, is it? It's the Progen T20. What do we think? Okay, not a good start to be quite frank with you. There we go. Right, we'll head on down a little bit further, and there we go. Not too shabby, and whoopsie daisies, clipped it and I spun it. Okay, right, not a good start at all really, but does seem to be going rather fast. Certainly no slouch. Look at that. Okay, flying through the air. Let's try not to clip that pole if we can, and we missed it on this occasion. Rightio, and taking this corner, and not too shabby. No, not too shabby at all, I've got to say, quite good. Does seem to be going rather fast, as I say. Nice acceleration, nice top speed. Okay, not too slippy. Back end does want to sort of come away on you a little bit, but not too bad, not as bad as other cars. Okay then, here we go, whizzing by down the traffic there. Yes, really is quite nimble, quite nippy and nimble, this car. I really do like it. Okay, here we go, coming down to the bottom corner there, and wouldn't you know, actually held it. Well, seldom few cars do that. Okay then, well, this I've got to say, very good. Right, okay, and there's my friend Zentorno. Mr. Wolf has obviously chosen to park his Zentorno outside the Maze Bank offices there, and why not? Okay, right, we'll head on inside now and see if we can't just take it to our custom auto shop. Okie dokie, right, okay, gotta hop back in now. In you get, Mr. Wolf, if you'd be so kind. Yes, thank you, jolly good of you, sir. Right, okay, let's take it to the custom auto shop. Oh dear, right, I pressed the wrong button. I took it outside. Oh, how about that? There's another Zentorno. How about that? There's a second Zentorno in white this time. Well, they may have chosen to paint their Zentorno in white, but I do believe that my friend's looks much better in that darker color. Okay then, the Progen T20, taking it inside now. Let's whiz on through some of the basics here before we get down to more of the stylistic elements. Okie dokie. Right then, like I say, retailing for $2,200,000 to start with, let alone the upgrades, and really is a rather expensive vehicle, this one. Okay, now we're on to some of the more stylistic elements. As I say, the hood there, not too sure what I like. I think I'll go with that one, to be perfectly honest with you. Okay, now this car does look shockingly familiar. I got to admit, I'm rather nervous at this point that I have brought two, and it is an expensive car to buy two of, but there we go. Right here. Okay, jolly good. Right, okay. Right. Not too sure what to put this, what color to put this car in, to be honest with you. Okay. Well, the double coloration there provides along with a lot of opportunities, doesn't it? Okay, how about a white on blue? I mean, we do that rather a lot, to be perfectly frank with you, the Cyclone, the Nero, and so forth, but yes, I do quite like that look. Perhaps I'll go with a white with something else, a white with a green maybe, or a white with an orange maybe. I'm not entirely sure, yes. Okay, well, we'll just keep skipping through. I think maybe the white with the orange. If I can find some sort of orange spoiler to set that off at the back there, that might look quite nice, to be perfectly honest with you. Okay, then. I think a little bit on its own. I think it's a little too white, isn't it, really? It needs that. It needs a bit of colour on the back there, I think, if we're going to go with that. Right, okay, there we go. Yes, I think so. Yes, I think so. Why not? Okay, let's go and find a spoiler for it, then. Okay, don't see one. There are no spoilers, are there? Well, how about that? This vehicle does not come with a spoiler. Okay, there we go. Right, okay, well in that case, I think I might have to change the colour of the car. I think I'll put it back to that blue, to be perfectly honest with you. Blue and orange, I'm not entirely... My friend seems to like that, but I'm not entirely convinced, to be perfectly honest with you. I think that I think blue and maybe a darker blue would be a good idea there. We'll try something like that. Okay, blue and purple? No. Okay, blue and red, a little bit too... Well, my friend says it's too Optimus Prime, so I'll take that as a hint that it's in the wrong direction. Okay, then there we go. Right, blue and black, why not? A little bit plain. I can always change it later, but I don't want to delay my friend too long in the vehicle repair shop. Okay, so here we go then, the Progen T20, once fully upgraded. What do we think? Okay, it's launched up that hill like a rocket, hasn't it? Very good. Okay, held that corner there quite nicely, gripping the ground, don't you know? Okay, that was a post, never mind. Right, okay, heading on down around the corner, still holding the ground, and okay, nearly lost it there, but didn't. Okay, fairly stable, this vehicle, you know. Okay, the sharp corner here, sharp right-hand corner, and I hit a wall. Okay, that really is rather a shame now, isn't it? We're sliding across that road there. But never mind, didn't end up like the Tesseract after all. Right, okay, then here we go, spinning on down the road. Yes, it does seem, yeah, look at that. That really is a very, very fast car, isn't it? I hasten to the day to think how fast this vehicle is. It must be up there amongst the top, I would have thought. Okie dokie, right here. Well, as we've got Mr. Wolf with us, why don't we let him sit behind the wheel and show us what this car can do in more proficient hands, shall we say. Okie dokie, and my friend has just pointed out that his Zentorno is no longer here. And he is quite right, isn't he? Yes, it does appear that his Zentorno has been stolen. Oh dear, we can only assume that perhaps that gentleman in the white Zentorno did like the look of the black Zentorno after all. That really is rather rude. Okay, well, my friend's going to take a lap here. Now, he was going to take his own lap, but I've asked him if he wouldn't mind obliging and taking my standard lap, and he's been extremely courteous and agreed to that request, and so here we go. Now we're heading on down the road, as you can see. It's gripping the road quite nicely, not hitting any poles this time for some strange reason I couldn't possibly calculate. Okay, he's heading around the corner, and this time, haha, hit a pole, didn't he? But look at that, held the corner quite beautifully, really. Not sliding into any rocks or any such nonsense like that. Okie dokie, so now here we are, we're heading down the straight. It's all a matter of that left corner, really, I suppose, and I went slamming into a car on the one occasion, I do believe, so let's, yes, okay, there we go. Well, never mind, that's the same thing as I did anyway. Right here, okay, now we do really want to put this up against the Zentorno and see how it goes, but that Zentorno's been stolen now, hasn't it? Stolen by a couple of wayward rapscallions, to be perfectly frank with you. Jolly rude, I would say, to take a man's vehicle without permission. So we're just going to head on down now and see if we can't go in and speak to these gentlemen. And with a bit of luck, they won't be. There we go. We'll just check on the map and see where they are. Okay, and there they are. They are moving in a group down there, and they have stolen my friend Zentorno. Jolly naughty of them. So yes, I suppose we're just going to have to go and have a word with them, see what they're thinking. Really, I mean, it's shocking behaviour. Okay, so here we go. Now, hopefully, this is not going to devolve into some sort of firefight. I mean, it's quite clear that they're in the wrong here. Okie dokie. Now we're just going to hop on up There we go. Now, Mr. Wolf's popped that. He's going to go and look, that's their Zentorno right there. Okay. Certainly not ours. Let's go and see what happens here then. Okie dokie. Right, okay. Right, no guns drawn so far, don't you know? One gentleman's having a smoke. Can't say as I blame him. Yes, well, there we go. A peaceful resolution. They seem to have recognized that they've done wrong, and they haven't in any way tried to stop us or impede us from retrieving the vehicle. And how about that? Goes to show that every so often strange things can happen in GTA Online. And there's my friend nudging me up the rear, and whoops-a-daisies, don't you know I'm airborne. Okay, jolly good. How about that? That really was a splendid bit of luck. Okie dokie, so the big question is, does the $2.2 million sports car or supercar outclass the Zentorno that comes in at $750,000? Okay, and first off the line there, as you can see, the Zentorno is absolutely destroying it. This really is quite disconcerting. Okie dokie, there we go, trying to get around the corner, cutting it a little short there, to be perfectly honest with you, just trying to gain some ground on him. I mean, look at it go there, it really is rather striding into the lead, or it's taking the lead and is staying there at any rate, certainly. Okie dokie, and yes, he's certainly taken that one. Okay, so the Zentorno, 1-0 for the Zentorno. Okay, but of course we're not going to leave it there. We don't want to make sure that that's a fluke and all that, so we'll go again. Right then, what happens this time? And the Zentorno is taking the lead, and now it's going to a different state. Look at that. Oh my god, that's absolutely ridiculous. It's just absolutely soaring into the lead. This really isn't not even in the same class. It's absolutely ridiculous. This vehicle's more than twice the amount, cost more than twice as much as the Zentorno, but it cannot even come close to it. It's not even a close race at all. The Zentorno is destroying the T20, and how about that? Okie dokie, and spinny. Okay, jolly good. Right, now, just to make sure it's not my shocking driving that is fault here, we're going to swap vehicles. Okay, there we go, jolly good. Now, of course, as a result of that unwanted theft earlier on, my friend has unfortunately locked his vehicle from everybody, and so he's just going to have to rectify that for a moment so I can hop inside, and there we go. Okay, so let's just make sure, like I say, that it was not my driving that's to blame, and we're going to throw out a grenade and put the Progen T20 $2.2 million up against the Zentorno at $750,000. Okay, and there we go. Acceleration straight off the line. The Zentorno's got it, there's no question. Top end speed. The Zentorno's does seem to be pulling away. Cornering ability, and there we go. Right here. Right, I made a hash of it, to be perfectly honest with you, but the Zentorno is certainly better in the corners. And there we go. I mean, that's it. Do you want to pay $2.2 million on for the Progen, or do you want to buy 2 or 3 of these Zentornos? I know what I'd go for. Okie dokie, and there we go. Righty-o. Right shocking, really, isn't it, ladies and gentlemen? Would you believe that Rockstar would be so cheeky? But apparently they have been. So, the Progen T20, should you buy it? Certainly not, and consider anyone who suggests you do an enemy. Okay, there we go, ladies and gentlemen. Well, I hope you've enjoyed this video, and of course, as always, thank you for watching, and don't buy the Progen T20 unless you like to do this. Whee! Jolly good, really, isn't it?